Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. It has been a couple of weeks since I last uploaded. I have said in previous videos that I don't set myself a particular schedule to upload, but I was trying to upload at least once a week. Unfortunately, I've been going through some personal stuff, which for obvious reasons I'm not going to get into. And that's knocked my schedule right back. But I have got a few things now in the works. So I thought today I would get back into it with just a little bit of a wool fibre haul. I've recently placed an order with World of Wool, which is where I get all my fleeces from. And I thought we would go through and take a look at what I've got, what my plans are for it, and there's a couple of experiments in there which I think will be interesting to take a look at. So, the first one I've got is the Alpine collection. This is one of their own blend of mixes. This is a selection of merino and alpaca fleeces. And take a look at the back. We have got some really nice colours in here. Let's just open it up and take a full look at the colourways that we've got. Now, my plan for this, if I can get it open, there we go. My plan for this is to make these into rolags and probably have a gradient wool or a bit of a self-striping wool. So let's get the colours out and we can take a proper look and see what we've got. Right. Okay, so we have a really nice selection here of this beautiful green and purple and blue and this sort of salmony brick red. And then we've got a nice mix of some softer, like grey, stone, off-white cream. So I think those, if we sort of arrange them the way that I might blend them on the blending board, so I would probably go something like that, maybe sort of intersperse the stonier colours with some of the actual colours. Do you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of like I hesitate to use the word heather, but yeah, I definitely get the alpine feeling from that. Because the merino and alpaca, it is so soft. I've got, each of these is about 25 grams. So 50, 100, 125, 125, 150. So yeah, about 150 grams worth there. So that's going to be a nice amount. And like I say, I think what I'll do is I'll do it in rolags with the colours going vertically. So when we strip the rolags and stretch them out, the colours will have nice solid blocks of colour to make a really nice sort of gradient self-striping yarn. And I think if I'm going to do it that way, I will probably chain ply them as well. That's the first one. I'm going to put them all back in so I've got them all together. And with them being all the same wools, merino and alpaca, I don't feel the need to add in a base colour. I can spin them, once I create the rolags, just spin them as is. Unlike this one, because this is actually a selection of wools of fibres, I should say, that I've chosen myself. And for this one, I would probably want to find in my stash a base colour that I can then lay these on top of and create a blended mix that way. Because I've got everything from merino in here to bamboo. And I'm going to get them all out and talk about them because this is my own blend. This is a bit of an experiment. I wanted to see how the fibres interacted with each other, but I also wanted to make like a really nice, soft spring blend. So we've got this. This is the Merino Bloom, or Merino in Bloom, the colour Bloom, I should say, which is a really beautiful, soft pink. There's 25 grams of each fibre in here, which is another reason why I want to have one base colour, because I don't want to have too much of one type of fibre in one section. So, for example, I don't want to have too much of the bamboo because the bamboo is very, very shiny. I want to spread that across the whole, like just use that almost like I would Stellina or Angelina, drop it into the other colours and blend it in that way. But we've got the Bloom. This is, which is the Merino. Then we've got Corriedale, which is beautifully soft. Not as soft as Merino, obviously. A bit fuzzier, a bit thicker fibres, and lovely and soft and warm, but in a slightly darker pink. And then we have Shetlands, which I've never spun with before, and it feels, on first impression, it feels just a little bit coarser than the Corriedale, but still very soft and very warm. And that's going to be lovely to, again, just sort of use as a strengthener and what to use combined with these. And then finally I have the Bamboo, which is this, which is beautiful alternative to silk. So again, like I say, this is why I didn't want to have this just as one colour. I'm going to spread that between, you know, the pinks, which I think that would look stunning with with the pinks. And that will also get blended in with these as well. So I think what I'd probably do is end up with one base colour and then blend in the different pinks and the blue and the white and just have one blended colour rather than trying to go for a gradient or even a barb pole or anything like that. Just one sort of blended colour, I think, for these. And there, so I'm just going to put these back and I'm just try and get them in the right order that I've got on the list of ingredients, just so I know exactly how much I'm using of each type of wool. So that was that. That was the Tusk, the Shetlands, then the Corriedale, Merino on top. And then the last thing I got, which is absolutely 110% going to be experimental, and I'll be doing a video on this one because I think it's going to be fascinating, is this mix here. This is Breed Discovery, and I have to say I've opened this bag just quickly to take a look at this particular fleece, and oh, the smell. I'm one of those people who absolutely loves the smell of wool, really love it. But these are basically a variety or pack of different breeds, which they're just small, small amounts. But I'm going to spin them, I'm going to ply them, and then I'll be able to see how the breeds spin up, the difference between the breeds, how soft the fibres are or how coarse the fibres are. And then this is going to be able to go into my, I might even knit a swatch with all of the yarns that I create, and I'll be able to put them into a notebook and have a swatch book basically with the yarn, how notes on how I've plied it, on what the wool feels like, on what it's like to work with. Is it awkward to spin? Is it easy to spin? That sort of thing. and the birds really want to be in this video. But I have already opened it, so I'm going to get one of these out. I don't want to get all of them out because I want to keep the list of where they are, which ones they are. But I do know that this is Herdwick, and this is the one that I took out earlier to get an idea of. Oh, this smells so strongly. It's so nice. Like I say, I love the smell of wool. Some people don't, which is fine. But yeah, this smells lovely, and this is a really, this I would say is pretty coarse. This is 40 microns, and the fibre length is 85 to 90 millimeters. And I'll unroll it so you can see how much I get. You know, it's not a huge amount, which is what I wanted. You know, I didn't want to have a massive amount, but that's enough to get a really decent 3-ply fibre from, which I can then just knit up a quick swatch, and then put that into a book so I can tell, you know, what the yarn that this produces is like. And you can see almost immediately, really, just the difference in the fibre here. We've got some really long guard hairs with it. And it is, taking it out now and feeling it properly, it is pretty coarse. But I can imagine this being really warm. Probably good for external wear or weavings for weaving something that's going to be either for use in the home or for external wear. But also I think that's going to be really warm, really warm. So I'm going to wrap that back up, and yeah, I will take you on the journey for this in terms of experimentation, of weaving all of these, of spinning all of these, and then of knitting them and seeing how the swatches turn out. So that is everything that I got from World of Wool, and I'm looking forward to playing around with these. It's probably not going to be on in this video. I do want to get something up this week, so this is probably going to be it for that. Very unedited, really just off the cuff. But like I say, I just wanted to get something up this week, despite the fact it's been a bit of a chaotic week. So thank you all so much for watching. I shall see you in the next video. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and take care, keep crafting, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.